Hello, welcome. I'm Kelly Bokoschuk, Superintendent of Learning with Sun West School Division. Welcome to our last Lunch and Learn session for Education Week. This year's theme is Connecting and Learning in New Ways. We have had a wonderful week of lunching and learning together and connecting and learning in new ways. We ask that you keep your videos off and microphones muted until you are invited to unmute, but please feel free to use the chat throughout the session. Today, we ask you to welcome Ocean School's Education and Science producers, Erika Sullivan and Lucija Prelovec. Sun West has had the pleasure of working with Erika and Lucija as they have developed a collection in the resource bank of their amazing resources at Ocean School. Ocean School is a free inquiry-based online learning experience for students aged 11 to 15, meant to strengthen learners' personal connection to the ocean. They create bilingual materials for science and technology, social science, language arts, and math. Today, you'll be learning how educators are using the interactive media to stay connected and to support inquiry at a distance. Please feel free to explore the free assets, including 360 virtual videos, virtual augmented reality, and more. Welcome, Erika and Lucija. The floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that lovely intro. So I'm Lucija. I'm a science producer and communication specialist for Ocean School. And I also have Erika here, who I'll let her introduce herself.
Yep, I'm Erika. So I'm one of the education producers, which means I develop materials for teachers to use with their students.
Yeah, we're here. Yes, we're both very excited to be here. And we'll be talking to you about what Ocean School is, some of the basic building blocks of Ocean Schools, some extras and bonuses, and then at the end we'll have a short activity for those participating, and then we'll close it up. So I'll get started with just a quick overview of what is Ocean School. So Ocean School is a collaboration between the National University of Canada and Dalhousie University. And essentially, we've created a large website platform full of educational resources used to teach curriculum topics through an ocean lens. So stuff you would teach in the classroom, just kind of with an ocean spin on it. It's targeted for grades 5 to 9, but it does easily adapt for older and younger grades. It is bilingual, so it's available in French and in English, and it's all free, which is pretty awesome. There's no cost to Ocean School. You can use it. You just have to create an account. And it is based off of inquiry-based learning. So a lot of the students asking the questions, finding their own answers as they're going. So we've launched in 2018, end of 2018. So we've been around for a bit. We are always filming new content, producing new content, and putting it online with brand new activities. Usually about maybe 1 to 2 modules a year has been the norm for us so far. Mm-hmm. The way Ocean School is organized is we create a unit, which is usually around an ocean. So for example, here it's the North Atlantic. Within that unit, we have modules. These modules usually have one overarching question that the students are looking to answer with their work throughout the module. And within every module, there are lines of inquiry, which have smaller questions. And within each of those lines of inquiry, there is a piece of media. Now, this piece of media can be a linear video, which is basically like a short documentary style video. It could be a 360 video or a virtual reality to really immerse the students in the learning. It could be an augmented reality activity. It could be an interactive activity. We have newsreels. So it's a combination of different types of media. And all these different types of media are followed up with an activity that our education team, like Erika, put together as well. So currently, with everything within our North Atlantic unit and our Open Ocean unit, we have about 112 activities and pieces of media available, which is about 55 hours of Ocean School content. So there's definitely a lot there to keep you and your students busy. So this is an example of some of those activities that I mentioned. The activities really vary through different types of curriculum topics and opportunities and different types of difficulties and tech requirements and so on. So for example, this first one is building a virtual reality tour, which involves using the Google Tour Creator. The second one uses Google Earth, and it is tracking sharks, which is actual data from shark scientists. And this last one is making a shark comic. So it's a lot more simple, kind of an art spin versus the other one. So all our activities kind of have this variation throughout the module. So some we'll see a little more longer lengthwise and some are shorter. Now, the neat thing about Ocean School is that all these activities are also customizable by the teachers. So we're integrated with Google Classroom. So teachers can edit the activities that way. But if you choose not, you don't have to use Google Classroom to use Ocean School. And Erika is going to go into all those different possibilities too. But yeah, all these activities, you can adjust them however you'd like to fit your lesson plans.
Okay,
Erika, this is you.
So Ocean School is a website, right? That's full of videos and other kind of pieces of media and full of activities for students. So what are we really putting out there for teachers? The main thing is the website itself. This is what you would probably link your students to. Say you like a video about sharks. You would say, here, go to this URL, watch this video, and here's an activity that goes with it. So that's the website. It's available in English and French. And all of the stuff that's ready for the public is all posted there. And right now it's North Atlantic and open ocean stuff. And to support that experience with your students, we also have the Help Center. So that's a separate website. It's basically a support space that gives you guides, resources, troubleshooting. There's some lesson plans. One neat resource is, say for whatever reason, you can't get your students signed up to the website, which is free, but they need to sign up, and maybe your student's not able to do that, say, because you're teaching at a distance. Learn from Home has a list of just links to YouTube videos where you could watch some of the same videos, and it's really low barrier of entry. So there's stuff like that on the Help Center. So there's the website, the Help Center, and then the educator space. So the educator space, so say you're a teacher, and you're like, I like the type of stuff that Ocean School has. I like their videos, and I want to grab all their activities. Like I want a whole folder of their activities so I can look through them, modify them, use them however I want. You go to this space to get all those activities. So we're working right now to kind of combine these two spaces, the Help Center and the educator space. But right now, you could find them as they are in two separate spaces and get whatever you need from them. So the links are here. We shared the slide deck, so you could grab them right off of there, or you could Google it, it will come up. But those are the three main things we provide to the teachers, to all teachers, and it's all free. Okay, so you might be wondering, like, it's a little bit complicated. I use Google Classroom or I don't, or I use Drive or I don't, or like, how do I integrate this into my own class, right? Like I have my own system. So the basic thing to know is no matter what system you use, there's a way to use Ocean School. So you could choose to make a class in the educator space, or you could not. It's up to you, right? You can go to the left or the right. And then you could choose to make a Google Classroom class in that space, or you could choose not to. It's up to you. Or you could choose to, without your class, use Google Drive, or to not. In any event, your students have access to all the media and all the activities. It's just a matter of how do you like to teach within your system, right? So if we go to the next one, you could see it kind of laid out here, and I encourage you to just check it out on your own. Like now is not a good time to go line by line with each of the settings, but basically the main difference is how do your students get the activities and how do they give them back to you. So that's probably how you're going to set it up based on what you like to do in your own class.
Could you explain what a lifelong learner means?
Yeah, it just means that the teacher hasn't gone to the educator space. So anybody in the world, so I have an account like this, Lucija has an account like this, can make an Ocean School account and then go look at all the videos and activities for free. And there's no teacher kind of setup there. There's nobody facilitating that process. You just go in, you watch the stuff, and you get your activities. Whereas if a teacher had set up a class, got all the activities, and directed their students to Ocean School, they would set up a class usually, but they don't have to. It's up to you. And that's the main difference.
Cool. We are adding our content slowly to the SunWest Resource Bank. So the easiest way to find us is once you get onto the Resource Bank, you just type in Ocean School in the search bar, and we come up as the first few results. So right now we have our units up in French and in English, and we're going to be adding a few activities that we have on our website as well in the coming weeks. So that's how you can access Ocean School. Also, you can Google us, oceanschool.ca. National Film Board, which, like I said in the beginning, we are part of. They have a hub, and you can find Ocean School and other National Film Board activities on their hub through SunWest.
Okay, so we have this thing that's out there in the world. It's Ocean School. It's a website. There's a collection of videos and student activities that you could use. But how do we work with teachers? Well, we speak with them while we're making the videos and the activities. So teachers can help us identify gaps in our material. So say you had a curriculum item that you needed to address with your students, but Ocean School didn't have anything that could do that. We didn't have something to say about sharks, for example. We could work with you to get that in motion, to get a piece of media that would address that item. We also have teachers who look at our activities. So once we make activities and then have a nice draft, we could share it with teachers and say, what do you think of this? Do you want to try it with your students? Or do you think it can be improved in any way? And then they'll provide comments and we'll improve the activity. And then the final way the teachers kind of work with us throughout the process is they look at our website, areas where maybe it's hard to navigate or where there could be things that could be simpler, and they provide some feedback, and then we fix up our website. We're still, like, it's still growing, right? The Ocean School website. So there's lots of areas where teachers have identified things that could be improved. So we're working on all that constantly and continually. So we like to, we are teachers, I'm a teacher, and we like to work with teachers to make sure that it's the most useful in a classroom as possible, because it's a free resource and we want teachers to be able to use it. So if ever you're using Ocean School and you have feedback, we welcome that. You could send something into us and we'll put it in our master list of items to address, just to make that clear. Okay, I don't know if we have enough people for this. Lucija, what do you think?
Well, we're not at the game yet. We can still, we have a little bit, but might as well try it out. Then we can at least show it.
Okay, so enough kind of speaking to Ocean School. Let's actually do something with Ocean School. So let's change it up. Okay, so you're sitting here and you're probably like, okay, there's a lot of information here. How do I actually just use it? Like, how could I pick something up and then show it to my students tomorrow? And the answer is the Help Center. If you remember, it was one of the resources we shared earlier. When you go to the Help Center, you have something in there called module guides. So every time that we make a video, we put it into one of these tables. And if you go to the next slide, on the tables, you could see what the video is without having to even go to the website. You could watch preview. You could see if it's a video or a 360 video or an interactive or a newsreel, and how long it'll take. You could see.
Hello.
Hi. Oh.
You can see if we suggest that different pieces of media go together, if one unlocks another, because a little gamification is often fun for the students. And you could read what each piece of media is without having to explore it all yourself. And the same with the student activity. So instead of watching 50 videos to say, oh, this would be good for my class, you could just read like this paragraph. Okay, this is what's going on here. This is what's going on here. And then you can see the activities before downloading them. So it's all highlighted there. You could see what does what. And it's really practical. When I joined the team, I was like, wow, there's a lot of information here. Like, this is kind of hard to just know what's available to me, right? And then I saw all of these tables and I was like, holy smokes, this is like a cheat sheet. It's really practical. And that's what I would suggest all teachers start with. So they come to this place on the Help Center, we'll give you links, and they just have a look at what's available, and that takes just a few minutes to read through and to decide what's good for you. Okay, so let's do a little game.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a little game. So we're calling this the Amazing Race, Ocean School Edition. Essentially, you can either put your answers in the chat or put them in, or come unmute yourself. But the idea is to be able to show you how easy it is to find all these different resources through our module guides. So if you've opened up our presentation that we shared, we can also put some of the links
Yep, I can do that right now.
In the chat as well. But the idea is so for example, if I go into evolving ecosystems, so right on the slideshow, I can press it. It'll take me to the educator guide, and then there's a trailer, the big ideas, but we're scrolling down a bit further to get to the tables, the module guides. And the goal essentially is to see if you are able to find a 360 video, for example, in this first unit here. So I guess if you are participating, take a look, click the link that Erika shared there. That will take you to, you can open it up here. You can choose whatever module guide you want from there. And then let's see, just copy paste the name of a 360 video that you find. So remember, the 360 will be written under the type. It will say 360 like this one here, which is a little hint of a 360 video. So the Dive with Boris video, which is a 360, this is actually a really popular one we do in our outreach. So I do a lot of ocean school outreach, and you're literally diving with a North Atlantic right whale. And you get to find the whale underwater, and it's really fun. Everyone enjoys it. And for 360 videos, you don't need to have a VR headset. You do it on an iPad or a tablet, on a phone, or even on the computer. You would just have to click around to view it, but it's really engaging. So
it's really popular with the kids. Yeah.
Yes, kids really like to dive with Boris, and we're the only ones that actually have footage of diving with a right whale, because you need a special permission to go actually out and film it. So it was actually recently used in a movie by the Boston Globe, which I just found out yesterday, that specific footage from the dive with Boris. So that's an example of a 360. We can check out if we can find powerful observations. Yes, so that's another great one. So that is one of our inquiry tools.
500 points to Melissa.
There you go. 500 points, Melissa. That's it. Powerful observation. We filmed that in Costa Rica on Cobos Island. So it's also a great time if you ever want to escape, go to a different destination, explore an island in Costa Rica. Definitely check out Powerful Observation. It teaches kids all about how to create good observation skills. The next task we have to see if we can find on the table is find a media resource that is not a video. Melissa's all around the oyster farm. There's another one. That is another great 360 as well. But that one is a video for this new challenge. We're looking for something that's not a video, so doesn't have this play button or the 360 button. So this one might be a little more challenging. Let me see. I'll play along, see if I can find one maybe in. Let's check out Open Ocean.
Yeah, Carol has a suggestion of Open Ocean here.
Mm-hmm. Yes, so we have this icon here. This is actually interactive. So this is a 360 interactive. This one is coming soon. We have other ones. We have the current news, exactly. So we have current news. There's the cod one in protecting populations, and in this one I found the trawling ban one. So it's all about trawling, the shrimp ban in Costa Rica. So this is, I don't know, Erika, do you want to speak about current news, what the newsreel is?
Yeah, so newsreels usually speak to the element in the part of your curriculum that usually asks students to look at like current events. So maybe reading nonfiction like that's in their lives. So it's actual news articles, often from CBC, CTV, and other Canadian resources that just talk about that specific topic. So we have one about right whales. We have one about cod. This one about the trawling ban. And they're a nice way to integrate some of that in a bit more of an interactive way. There's some click through and some videos, and they're pretty straightforward. But
yeah, kind of like Patricia went down a rabbit hole watching a video instead. I hope you enjoyed the video that you watched. Yeah. Our next task is see if you can find an activity that takes less than 30 minutes. Oh, I'm glad you liked the video, Patricia. So a video that takes, or an activity that takes less than 30 minutes. So our activities are on the right-hand side of the column with an estimated time. Some are up to an hour. This is, once again, an estimated time. It's a good estimate of what we think, how long it would take.
Yeah, and what teachers have suggested to us if they've tried them.
Yes. So we have, here's a 30-minute example, is grocery shopping for whales. Mm-hmm. A job advertisement for 30 to 45 minutes. Yes. Mm-hmm. That one is in, do you remember which one that is, Erika?
Is it probably the Tour de Argo?
Oh.
Melissa, what activity do they do that with which video do they do that activity? Make it sustainable. There might be 2 job descriptions.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, so there is a good, as you like looking at the different times, you can see that there's this reversible one here that's about 20 minutes, and they vary. And then like Track the Shark is 75 minutes. So we have a good variety of different activity times that are everyone's that everyone's welcome to check out. Let's see if we can find a media that also has a lesson plan. Erika,
so some of our more complicated videos, if you look in the tables, we have a lesson plan, which is a suggested format for when you're teaching it. There's not as many. There's one here on the screen that Lucija has, whereas Whaldo is an AR experience, which if anybody's played Pokemon Go, you see something digital, a 3D model in your actual space. Whereas Whaldo is super exciting. Lucija could probably speak to that because she's showed it to a lot of people in her outreach events. But there's a whale that's the real size of a whale, and you put it in your environment. So in a gym or in the field, because whales are very large, you could see that they don't really fit in the classroom when you pull them up because their whales are big. But it always gets a really nice reaction, right? And it's really good for math and scale and
yeah, and then Patricia, you found Dive Detectives also has a lesson plan and on the island. So Dive Detective is interactive for marine migration, which is pretty cool. You get to explore, kind of go around the island. You have to dive down in different spots on the island to find a shark, a turtle, and a manta ray.
Yeah, it's almost like a scavenger hunt.
Yeah, so that's where the detective comes in there. Then we have our last little task here is find an activity that you could use in ELA, so English Language Arts. So let's see.
Yeah, so depending on which grade level you teach, there's probably going to be different requirements for your grade level, but there's lots of activities that work just fine in your English class or even in your French class. Lots of activities that work well in a math class. There's lots of opportunities for cross-curricular connections here.
Definitely. Like a good one here is, again, the current news with the COD. And which one?
Yep, superhero comic. Good, Melissa.
Yeah, superhero comic is a personal favorite of mine. The shark.
Our sharks are awesome, right? It's for that 360 video, and I have to say that's one of our most popular downloads whenever we put it up on resource banks, because if you have somebody in grade 3, or if you have someone in grade 11, like, you could ask your students to add as much detail as they're able to, right? In the comic, it's a nice little simple activity that is very versatile.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys are finding some really great ones.
Yeah,
science for sure.
Yeah.
And then our little bonus one that I like to point out is our Indigenous resources that we have. So we're constantly adding more, and we have a brand new unit coming up soon that we'll talk about. But for example, Netacolimic is one that's based off of Mi'kmaq storytelling, and Mi'kmaq are the Indigenous people of here in Atlantic Canada. Mm-hmm. And so this one is all kind of like living sustainably, essentially, and it's a really neat resource to check out. But yeah, I'm gonna move on, and Erika can explain what content is available. So we kind of ran through it now, and you can see what's coming next.
Yeah, we had kind of a crash course through some of our content. So the modules are themed, right? You could see healthy habitats is obviously about habitats, and protecting population has a bit more about like sustainability and thinking about what we're doing, and evolving ecosystems is about, like, over time, how do things change. Marine migration is about the animals that need to travel in the open ocean. So they're loosely connected by theme, and we have all those out already. And what's super exciting is the harvest. That's coming out very soon, actually, in the next couple months. And it is to do with salmon and herring. And it's about how the Indigenous people that live in Bella Bella, the Healtsick, live in balance and harmony with the animals in their environment, the resources in their environment. And the whole module is Indigenous focused, which is not something we've done before. And it was a lot of work, and it's super valuable. Like, there's lots of really good teaching in that module. And I think it's probably stuff that might not be as easy to find elsewhere also. Like, the National Film Board obviously shoots really stunning footage, right? So it's beautiful content, quality student activities, and it's free, and in English and French and all that. So it's really cool. The biodiversity module is coming up soon. We're all jealous of all the footage because it was shot in Indonesia and Australia. So we're all envious of the tropical footage and wishing we were in the sun. And that's coming up at the end of next year, maybe. And then finally, the Arctic is kind of our big dream, right? Is here in Canada to go up northwards and to capture some of the ways that the Inuit live here in Canada. So it's been put on hold a little because of COVID, but we're still moving forward. But that's coming up soon. So if there's things that you like about Ocean School now, there's more stuff coming out every 6 months or so. So it's a valuable resource to use whenever you need it.
For sure. Yeah, we have a lot to look forward to. And that brings us to the end of our presentation. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for playing along our activity and getting to explore the module guides. Yeah. Our emails are up here. Erika works through the National Film Board. I work through Dalhousie University. So you can contact us there. And thank you to SunWest for inviting us to talk this week. I hope everyone had a great week and are looking forward to having an event. And yeah, I don't know if there's time for questions, but we're here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so very much. I'm unfortunately have had weird internet connectivity issues. I know this session was recorded all the way through, and I was in and out watching, what you were doing with the activities. I so appreciate you taking us through that activity and showing us all the different curricular connections. So thrilled that you have partnered with us within our resource bank. Mm-hmm. And It's just amazing that partners out there are creating incredible learning opportunities for students with new technologies, and this is evident in everything you're doing. So I can tell you're passionate about your role and your jobs, and thank you for offering to do this with us today. I hope those that are on our call today are going to share this out with their colleagues, and looking forward to continued partnership with you. And I'm sure all of us are going to be going down our own rabbit holes here this afternoon. So thank you so very much. Appreciate it. And I'll stop the recording, but if anyone has questions in the chat, feel free to reach out.
Yeah, feel free to